they own the moment. They are enfranchised. That belongs to them. And if they are children, then all of a sudden they're saying, you know something? When we do this together, we have power. We matter. So much of the kind of resilience that children need in the conflict, post-conflict situation, of which Newtown is one, is nothing, of course, as comprehensive as what is in other countries. But so much of it is a sense of impotence, of disempowerment. But singing together, just as it did for, for the freedom riders, they got on the front of the bus, and it was legal to do that in the country, but when they got to Alabama, Mississippi, they pulled them off and beat them up and threw them in jail. This is, John Lewis is a member of Congress, and he was one of the leaders of the Freedom Riders. And they went to jail. And then the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, came and said, we're bailing you out. And John Lewis said, we're not going. We're staying here. We're not down here to get bailed out of jail. We're here to make it eminently clear that this horror must change. And we're doing it with love. And we're doing it with the Gandhian perspective. So they didn't leave. And the jailers couldn't understand. They were happy. They said, how come you're happy? Well, they said, I know why. They're singing. Tell them they can't sing. So the jailer went and he said, you can't sing. Look at Eyes on the Prize, the documentary. You'll see this moment discussed. They said, well, tell them they can't sing. They said, we're singing. You can't sing. You're in jail. We're singing. We'll take away your mattresses and you'll sleep on cold steel. We're singing. Why did they sing? For the same reason that kids' hearts need to be brought together with a sense that they matter, that they have the power together to change things. That's not a didactic form. It is not given to them. It is a way of creating community and a way of building within them respect. Because when you're sitting next to somebody who's a different color, look next to yourself. And then imagine you're pushing them and saying, you can't play with us. I'm not going to sing with you. Look next to each other. You're not looking. Look next to each other. Look at the person next to each other. And then imagine, oh, you're far less likely to do that. You see, you're far less likely to do that because you've already been playing together. Children need, in order to feel whole, in order to think, in order to do their homework, and in order to do well, they need to feel accepted. And they need to feel that they matter. So the Don't Laugh at Me program gives them those tools. Not comprehensively, but incorporated with other tools it does. It has nothing to do with politics. And yet everything to do, because the priorities that govern society and formed into policy come from the heart. But if we give them a different heart space to be together, just with each other, they're far more likely to look at those who are different, who are historically antagonists or enemies, and intuitively say, we have a way. And it is my experience now, and we've gone to many countries, that is where the children are. They say, we don't want this. We don't want this to continue. The parents say, no, it must continue. The adults. And they do, and the leaders do not serve the people. And they certainly don't serve the children who say, we want to break this cycle. Here's a song that I sang, I wanted to sing for you when I crossed the border from Palestine and I went through the checkpoint. And I was horrified by what I experienced. But here's what happened. I'd gone to see a fellow by the name of Zugby in Bethlehem, has a conflict resolution center. And he was interested in this program. And I'd already been to the Friends School in Ramallah. And as I had to come back, I had a Palestinian driver, but it was late, and we had to go through the checkpoint. We get to the checkpoint, and he asked me to sit in the front so that it would look, we're just friends, and that would be that. But it was tense. And there, when we came to the checkpoint, there was a young lady who looked a lot like my daughter. I'm Jewish, right? She looks like my daughter. But she's got a flak jacket from here to there. And she's got a gun, a big weapon. And she's nonchalant, and I get out of the car. She says, show me your passport. And she wants his ID. And she says, okay, open the back of the car. In the back of the car, I had a huge case from my guitar that was appropriate for international travel. The moment she saw that, that was big enough to carry several guns in it. She was in this state. My daughter was in this state. Open that. She opened the case. I opened the case for her. But I pulled the guitar out, and I said, and instead of just showing it to her, I said, Erev shel shani nitzeh al habustan mor besamim ulevuna leiragelech miftan Laila yored le'at veruach shoshan noshva aval hashlach shir balat zemen shel ahava. The tears were rolling down her face, and she said, "Can I have your autograph?" And my friend up in the tower, wanted one too. And my heart broke. We had gone from a state of fear and war with my own daughter in one split second. And I went with a heavy heart, very heavy heart. And when I tell this story, it pains me. And I've just been there again, and I'm going again in a little while. And when I got there, I was at the American colony, and I sang this song. And there was Hanan Ashwari, and there were lots of people. This was about 6 or 7 years. I sang this song. Some walls are made of stone. Sometimes we build our own. Some walls are made of fear, but love let go will disappear. If there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. That's your part, if there's any hope. If there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Try it again, you're not doing really well yet. If there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Once again, you're getting it. If there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Some walls are made of gold, lined with gold, where some hearts stay safe and cold. Some walls last for years, and some wash away with tears. If there's any hope, if there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Of course, I was singing about that wall, that literal, horrible wall. But I'm talking about the internal walls too. How can you ever know what might be found until you let the walls come tumbling down? If there's any hope for love, if there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Some walls are built on pride. Some keep the child inside. Some walls made of doubt, holding in and keeping out. If there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Once again, if there's any hope for love at all, some walls must fall. Some walls are made of stone. Sometimes we build our own. Some walls last for years, and some wash away with tears. Now I'm going to show you something that was created by young people who live in a state of conflict. These young girls, and there are some young men, live in Jaffa, and they are Palestinian, of Palestinian descent or origin, although they are Israeli citizens. They're Druze, they're Christian, they're Jewish. They formed a group. After I came, in the first 4 schools in Israel, 2 of them where the curriculum is Arabic, 2 of the curriculum is in Hebrew, I came with a wonderful singer by the name of Amal Merkis, who's an activist. And you're going to hear her in a little bit. And we went to the schools and we sang, and the energy was enormous. We're not talking about post-conflict here, but in a way, we're not talking about it. And then these girls made this video. They're extraordinary. So we're going to watch this now. It's a video of this song, but they heard, not the Some Wall song, but the Don't Laugh at Me song. Can you play that one? Thank you. And it's, again, it's a manifestation. It's a reality of something that was created, not hypothetical, not in the brain, but in the physical corpuscles and atoms of human beings who are loving each other. And you will see, it's a lesson of great power.
لا تسخروا مني لا تعطوني ألقاب لا تسعدوا بتاستي
אני הילד שקוראים לו חנון, הכל בגלל המשקפיים.
אני פוחדת לחייך בגלל הקשר בשיניים, וכך אני נרדם כל לילה עם דמעות בעיניים. وانا الولد الوحيد صداقتي لحد يريد، وانا بنت بلا خليل للخيال اريد الرحيل. وفي كل صباح روحي تشعر بالجراح. Playground, who's always chosen last, a single teenage mother trying to overcome my past. You don't have to be my friend, but is it too much to ask? Yeah. لا تسخروا مني، لا تعطوني ألقاب، لا تسعدوا بتعاستي في عين الله. كلنا سوا وسنحمل يوما أجنحة الملاك. لا تسخروا مني. شمال عسين طويل أبيض عطش I'm blind روزة Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect wings. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
See, set against the backdrop of pain and alienation, those kids have that capacity. Those are enfranchised. Those kids are powerful. And they love each other. And they are living something that's extraordinary. And as this extraordinary project goes forward, I encourage the guidelines to, as they get filled out, to include the nurturing of the hearts of children in a non-political way, non-divisive way. It doesn't have to be opposing sides that are singing, just people who need to feel that they matter. I know that they need, as they learn in the Don't Laugh at Me program, which is free and available, and it started out, the first country that called us outside of the United States to go there was, of all places, Hong Kong, where they have a serious bullying problem. We're viewed by a lot of people as an anti-bullying or violence prevention program, period, over and out. But you know that it's more than that. It's a matter of proactively creating an environment, and it's not just the information shared, it's not the content. I've seen the content of the program shared, but not necessarily in a loving way. It's about the way in which it is shared. That is as much the message as what is said. And it's a matter of resolving kid conflict with understanding, walking in each other's shoes. They learn that. They learn the rudiments of it. And it's a matter of establishing trust by creating strong community and recognizing their own emotions, just to know what you're feeling and not be afraid to speak out. Not be afraid to answer in class because you're so afraid that you're going to be made fun of. And then devoting yourself together to doing a project for each other, for the school, for the community, so that you develop an ethic that says, we are together, rather than I am surviving an impossible situation. And so the elements of that, which have a lot to do with social and emotional and creative growth, are integrated into the academic growth of children. You're simply not going to get academic growth if you neglect the essential need of children to find in their own way, in their own space, the acceptance so they can grow socially and emotionally in those terms. And you do that, again, emphasizing their capacity to do things themselves and together, and realize together, look what we can do. One very simple exercise, for instance, we sing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And when that happens, as you see, I'm transformed rather than being wrapped in a sense of the historic pain that really, really was the motivational place for Peter, Paul, and Mary to be together. We lost Mary 3 years ago, but the music continues and the message continues. And the conjunction of the creative arts, particularly music, as a power to gather people's spirits together, that continues. The moment I'm singing, whether it's a sad song or an unhappy song where I'm sharing pain, it's joyous. Now I want to show you something that's very powerful from the concert in Newtown that I organized. I had done a concert there just by chance with a group called the Flagpole Cafe, and 2 of the members had lost their son, Ben. And I visited. It was very delicate. Talk about a fragile situation, folks. That was really, really rugged. And the community was suffering, but they were reaching for each other. And the Sandy Hook promise that they've made to each other is they want to be remembered. Sandy Hook was the name of the school. Newtown will not be remembered. Or they started saying, our hearts are broken, but our spirit is not. And we want to be remembered, not for the tragedy that occurred here, but as the spirit of togetherness that created the movement to change what needed to be changed so that these kinds of killings stop. But it's not just about taking guns out of the hands of people. It's about eliminating the desire, the culture of hurt, of mean-spiritedness. And we live in the United States at this point with the black hole of empathy. And that is guiding policy as much as corporate and wealth and other kinds of wealth. And to reconstruct that, we need to bring the hearts together, and we have to do it through the children. In a sense, I'm living in the United States, in my point of view, in a very alienated time with very, very strange and very destructive practices where ridicule is a sport on television. And